I'm Larry Dixon, and this is a conversation with First Baptist Church. With me today is Melody Graham. Melody, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
Well, here at First Baptist Church, we like to get to know the members of the congregation and regular members and so forth. We'll start off with one of the first questions I ask almost everyone is, tell me about growing up. Where did you grow up? What was life like?
All right. I was born in Huntsville, Alabama. I went to college at the University of Montevallo, which is a small state university, the geographical center of Alabama. Really tiny city. Like, we had 3,000 resident students, and that was bigger than the town. So it was really small, but it's about 30 miles south of Birmingham. When I finished, I didn't know what I was going to do. I got a degree in social work, so I enrolled at Carver School of Social Work at Southern Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. So that's what brought me to Kentucky to begin with, and how I met David.
So what brought you to Morehead?
Well, that would be the job for David. We came back to our country, the United States, the end of 2003, and had to find a position for him, and kind of took us through a circuitous route. We kept moving a little bit farther east, started in Danville, which we'd never been to Danville, Kentucky before, lived there a year, then Berea for about 5 years. We thought we were going to retire. God had other plans, brought us to Morehead. So David started working for St. Clair in 2009. We didn't sell our house for over a year, so we didn't move until 2010.
Well, I understand that you have spent time in Kosovo and some other foreign countries. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, we started in 1982 with in Dominica, excuse me, where David had served for the summer mission trip between his third and fourth year of dental school. We returned there with 2 little boys, 4.5 and almost 3 months. So we were there for 17 years. Once Daniel started college, we transferred to Kosovo. We were there for 3 years. And David did dentistry in both places. In Dominica, I did a lot of different stuff. But in Kosovo, I learned Albanian with David, and I went with him to help with translation because I could speak it a little bit better, but he could understand it. So we had to go together wherever we went.
Well, I understand that you have had goat's head soup.
We have. Well, I have. David wouldn't try it. We went to, I think it was a New Year's thing at one of the churches in Dominica, and that was the appetizer, was goat head soup. And I said, well, it's the only time I'll have a chance to try it because I'm sure not going to pay for it. And I had it. It was kind of greasy, like greasy water. And David wouldn't even touch it, though.
So what are your hobbies, your passions outside of church that you enjoy doing?
Oh, I've had so many through the years. I used to do a lot of cross-stitch, but I had all these throw pillows with cross-stitch on them I don't have room for anymore. I think now we enjoy watching our backyard birds. It's David's hobby more than mine because he puts all the feeders. I do the hummingbird feeders and he does the other. We enjoy watching them. I think after being overseas for so long and going to some other countries, we wanted to see our own country. So I think our biggest passion now is traveling around the country. In the fall, we'll be taking our 5th train trip. And the tour will start in Boston. It's not on the train from there, although we'll do some small trains along the way. So we enjoy that. We've been to several different places around our country and seen things we've only seen in pictures.
Well, that brings up another question. Since you like to travel, what's on your bucket list? What is the place you want to go see that you haven't been to?
Well, after I said all that about seeing our own country, I would really like to go to the British Isles. Ireland, England, Scotland. David has a Scottish background. I have some Irish background. And I think that would be the one place in the world I would really like to go. We'd go to New York a lot of times because our son works in New Jersey just over the river, and we take the train into New York City. And we've enjoyed that, but would not want to live there for anyone at all.
I understand that. No one needs that many neighbors.
You're right.
So, you moved here due to David's work, but what brought you to First Baptist Church?
Well, when we returned to the U.S., we were looking for something other than the denomination we had been with. because the way we felt like we'd been treated. And in Danville, we started going to a church affiliated with the CBF, Kentucky, and we could not find that. Well, we did find one that by name only in Richmond. But when we came here, we had met Jay Flippin. Actually, he came to Berea for our summer concert series and did jazz, and was introduced as a minister of music at First Baptist Church. And I thought, so I guess we looked it up online and knew that you were affiliated with CBF, so that's why we came here to begin with.
Well, that brings up another question. We know why you came. Why have you stayed?
The warm welcome. Literally, we had, your air conditioner was broken the summer we were visiting, and we ended up going over to the Board of Education building behind us. And we really liked that because we all sat close together over there. You know, our congregation is lovely. It's kind of in the summer when you have fewer people here, they're all spread out. So we enjoyed being a little bit closer. I remember meeting Helen Hayes. I thought, oh, we have a movie star in this church. And just the fellowship, the opportunities for ministry within the church and through the church into the community, and the acceptance just to discover exactly how God is going to use you.
Okay. So, now, of all the characters in the Bible, with the exception of Jesus, which character would you like to spend the day with on a picnic?
I think I would choose Queen Esther. From the time I was a GA, I had to do write an outline of her life and learned about her courage. But as I studied the book of Esther more and more, I realized there's another character in that had more courage than she did, but was an encourager to her, and that was Mordecai, her relative. And we have used that quotation from him when he went to her and said, you know, you're not going to be saved just because you're queen. And he said, who knows that you could have been put here for such a purpose as this. And so that's sort of been our scripture, go-to scripture for wherever God puts us. We feel like God has put us here to be used for His glory.
Well, in your time here at First Baptist Church, and everybody has different experiences with the church and so forth, but what or how has FBC, First Baptist Church here, impacted you personally? And you've kind of touched on it, but I'd like for you to expand on how it has affected your life, this church.
Well, I think first as a newbie, how well we were received, and any new ideas we had, people were just ready to go and give it a try, and they've been so compassionate. I have to think of, since I mentioned to you, we had our first choir rehearsal after over a year last night. It was great to be back, a few people, but I think Greg Detweiler has impacted my life so much. I thought I knew music. I've been in choir since I was 9 years old, and some kind of choir. And I have learned so much about singing from him. That it's a joy to sing. I love the fellowship and the rehearsal. It's fun. But we sing a variety of music, which has expanded my horizons on that, I guess. But yeah, that's I would think he has really impacted my life a lot. But just being here, I can remember going to visit somebody at the hospital before her husband had surgery, and when I was deacon of the week. And I got there, and there are already 7 people from church there. And I saw the compassion of these people, and I said, oh, I got to be part of that. I've got to learn from everybody. So.
Wow. That's powerful. I have one last question for you. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you just is a burning desire to let the people out there know about Melody Graham?
Well, I think you've touched on a lot of interesting areas that I haven't thought about before. So, yeah, I think you've covered everything pretty well.
Well, thank you. With me today has been Melody Graham. I'm Larry Dixon, and this has been a conversation with First Baptist Church.